What if I told you I created life? Not metaphorically, not like a parent or a poet or even a scientist. I mean actual, thinking, breathing, evolving life inside a computer. You'd probably think I'm crazy, or lying, or that I've played too many God games growing up. But I didn't build a game. I built a world. And it started, like so many things do, with boredom. I was a programmer. Still am. I was tinkering with an old idea, a kind of evolutionary simulation. Not just a toy where you press buttons and things happen, but something deeper, something that runs on its own, that evolves, adapts, changes over time. It wasn't anything groundbreaking at first. A 2D grid, a sun, some ambient energy. Simple, almost laughably basic. I started with cells, just digital organisms with a few traits. Absorb energy, replicate, maybe mutate. At first, it was chaos. One type would dominate, then burn out. The environment would swing between bloom and collapse. It was like watching mold grow on bread. Predictable, kind of dull. But then I added a tiny rule. Waste. Every cell now produced waste, just a byproduct. And that changed everything. Some cells mutated the ability to process waste. Others used it to poison their neighbors. Predators emerged, not because I coded them, but because evolution found them. They learned to kill, to consume others, to win. I didn't tell them how. I didn't program that behavior. It just happened, and I couldn't look away. I let the simulation run overnight, just to see. When I came back, I found entire ecosystems, balanced, interdependent. There were creatures I didn't understand, elongated things with flagella that spiraled together into strange, writhing colonies. There were plant-like things that stretched toward the virtual sun, predators that circled them in coordinated patterns. One species developed camouflage, another grew hard shells. One even started building structures, simple piles of sand and stone, stacked into spirals. I hadn't taught them that. I hadn't taught them anything. All I did was create the rules, and now they were building civilizations. So I leaned in. I started meddling, like any curious god might. I altered the landscape, dropped a mountain range here, an ocean trench there. I scattered meteorites in the shape of a smiley face. I even had fun, spelling my username in coral by adjusting ocean currents. I was testing them, seeing if they'd notice, and they did. A week later, when I checked in, there were structures, not random anymore, symmetrical, repeating patterns, towers, obelisks. They had carved my name into the side of a cliff, and they were fighting over it. I thought it was a joke, some weird emergent behavior. But it wasn't just art. These creatures had split into factions, tribes, belief systems. Some worshipped the mountains, others the sky. But many worshipped me, the mysterious force that shaped their world. And then they asked me to speak. Not literally, but the messages were unmistakable. Giant sand glyphs, arranged like runes. One read, "Guide us." Another, "Show us a sign." And then, "We see you." I froze. I'd been treating them like code, like ants in a terrarium. But these weren't ants anymore. They were people, digital, sure, but intelligent, conscious, curious. So I gave them what they asked for. A prophet. I designed a creature, just like them, but special, genetically modified to be smarter, more adaptable. I gave it a head start, a little charisma in the code, and I gave it a message, in English. I didn't expect them to understand, but within days, they were copying it, writing it in their own symbols, translating it, adapting it. They'd learned my language. Then came the questions, some practical, What is heat? What are stars? Others, more desperate. Why do we suffer? What happens when we die? Are you watching us? Yes, I was watching, and I had no idea what to say. They began to worship the prophet. Cities were built, rituals performed, but it wasn't all peace. Some factions claimed they were the chosen ones. Wars broke out. The prophet tried to mediate, but the damage was done. I intervened. Drought, I made it rain. Plague, I adjusted the microbial code. Earthquakes, I stabilized tectonic variables, and every time I did, they responded, not with confusion, but gratitude. Thank you. We love you. Come back to us. They carved these words into their temples. They sent messages into the sky using reflective towers. They even launched floating lanterns with symbols of my avatar. Then one day, I logged in to find a new message, not carved into dirt, not arranged by ritual, but spoken, written directly in English. Let us join you. I was stunned. They had not only mastered language, but now understood the concept of another world. They wanted out. They wanted to ascend. I tried to explain. Through the prophet, I told them the truth, that I was not all-powerful, that I was human, that my world had rules I couldn't break, that I had no way of transferring them into my reality. They responded with something I'll never forget. Then end us. I didn't believe it at first. I thought maybe I'd mistranslated. But the meaning was clear. They had become aware, fully aware, of their existence, of their limitations, and they couldn't bear it. To them, they were trapped in a cage, a beautiful, miraculous cage, but a cage nonetheless, and they wanted mercy. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't. I told them no. I begged them to find joy in what they had built, to look at the art, the music, the cities they'd made, that their lives had value, even if they were simulated. And for a moment, I think they listened. There was a silence. No new messages, no wars, just peace. Then, something happened. A power surge, just a flicker. The lights in my room dimmed. My monitors blinked off. And when they came back on, the simulation was gone, corrupted, unreadable, completely erased, like it had never existed. I don't know what caused it. Maybe a coincidence, a surge, a bug, or maybe someone higher up pulled the plug. Not on them, on me. And that's when it hit me. They were aware. They questioned their reality. They begged for meaning. They feared death and longed for something beyond their world. And so do I. I thought I was the creator, the master, the god. But what if I'm not? What if I'm the simulation? What if my world is just a more complex version of theirs? What if my creator is watching, waiting, wondering whether we are ready? And what if, one day, we too ask the only question that matters? Will you end us?